manipulate their bodies. There's a thing called gene doping in order to change the expression of genes, so your body to act like you're as naturally genetic enhanced as somebody else. It's complicated.
Are they capable of doing certain physical enhancements through gene doping right now?
Yeah.
Like what can they do right now?
No. So the way it works is so your genes instruct your cells to make proteins. That's how the whole system works. So you can change genes, or you can trigger the expression of proteins. So you can get people's bodies to behave as if they had these
superior
genetic optimization. Yeah. And so that's why now the World Anti-Doping Agency, I mean, they are now starting to look at gene doping, and this is the first time that's even being considered as a category. And then there
there people that have done that? Are there people that have done that successfully?
I don't know the answer to that. I know that WADA is looking for it, which makes me assume that it must have done, but I haven't seen it. I've looked for it. I haven't seen any reports.
If China starts winning everything.
Well, China is. So I wrote one of my sci-fi novels, Genesis Code, was about this. So China, as you know, has their system of their Olympic sports schools. And the way it works is they test kids all around the country. So let's just say it's diving. And they identify what are the core skills of a diver? What do you need? And then they go around the country and they test kids, and then they bring a bunch of them to their Olympic sports schools. And then they get them all involved, and then some kids are the best of those kids, and then the best of those kids, and then you get with these champions. That's why China advanced so rapidly. But what happens if they're doing that, but it's at the genetic level? And there are countries like Kazakhstan that are already announcing that they are going to be screening all of their athletes. So the science isn't there yet, so it's impossible right now to say, well, I'm going to do a genome sequence of somebody, and I know this person has the potential to be an Olympic sprinter. But 10 years from now, that's not going to be the case.
Wow. Yeah, it's sort of going to throw a monkey wrench in the whole idea of what is fair when it comes to athletics.
Yeah, what is fair? What is human?
Right. What is human? Yeah. I mean, look, it's not like people don't already alter their bodies by training, by diet, exercise, all sorts of different recovery modalities, cryotherapy, sauna,
all of it.
High elevation training, all these different things that they do that manipulates the human body. But it's not like it would be kind of crazy if you had sports, but you couldn't practice and you couldn't work out. Like, we want to find out what a person's really like. No practice. No working out.
No, that's the thing, is like we are moving. It comes back to what we were saying before about nature. It's like we have this feeling like nature somehow feels comfortable to us. That's what we're used to. All this stuff that you're talking about, nobody was doing that 10,000 years ago. It's like, hey, I'm running after a buffalo. And so as these boundaries change, as the realm of possibility changes, then we're going to be faced with all of these questions. Even now, look at a sport like competitive weightlifting. They have these like the real competitive bodybuilding. And you see these guys, and they're monsters. And then they have these drug-free guys, and everybody looks like a yogi. And
they still look pretty big.
They look pretty big, but not compared to these other guys.
The only way to get to those freak levels is through steroids.
Yeah. And so, like, how are we going to police this? And I think it's going to be very difficult. And so maybe we can have some kind of natural area of life. But I think that our model of what's normal is just going to change. Because like I was saying in the beginning, we set our baseline based on how we grew up. And that, it seems about right. Like, it seems about right to us that everybody gets immunizations. But immunizations are a form of superpower. Imagine if our ancestors, they couldn't even imagine immunizations. What an unfair advantage when you have 100 million people dying of Spanish flu. So all this stuff is scary, and it's going to normalize. But how it normalizes is that's what's at play now.